11:44 hours. Medic response.
Okay, here we go. Nice hit!
I like playing with my dad because it's just me and him.
2, nice hit.
We do a lot of stuff together. 3. She's very athletic.
Whoops. Okay, here we go.
Greg James found himself living a parent's worst nightmare. It was a hot summer afternoon on Lake Washington.
Horror, fear, sadness, guilt. What did I do wrong? What could we have changed to, make it not happen? We were out in our boat. We were inner tubing. We had one of those big tubes. As we took off, I was driving. The inner tube came loose. Lily was inside the boat. The rope was, her legs were on top of the rope. And all I heard was a scream. And Carol in the back, saw Lily just go flying out of the boat. She landed in the water unconscious. Yeah, when I got her up on the boat, it was pretty horrible. Basically her feet had almost been completely cut off by the nylon rope. And I got her on the boat, and Carol called 911 from the boat, so that was lucky thing that we had the cell phone. And this was the other lucky thing, we were very close to the Mercer Island Beach Club, so we got back to the dock, and already the ambulances were on the way. It only took us about 5 minutes to get to the dock.
And on the scene at the dock was neighbor Dr. Michael Copass, director of the Medic One Paramedic Training Program and medical director for Seattle Medic One.
And there were a lot of very anxious people crowded out on a pier, all concerned about this little girl who clearly had suffered a devastating injury.
As paramedics arrived, Dr. Copass was on the phone to Harborview.
Dr. Copass had already set the stage. She's going to go to Harborview. She's already got a surgeon lined up. He called the ER for us. He called the OR.
At Harborview, Dr. Nicholas Vetter was standing by.
An injury like this, where you have a body part, in this case feet, or at least one of her feet, that was devascularized without any blood supply, getting good pre-hospital care and getting them rapidly to the trauma center is critical.
And they took off for Harborview and got there in about 5 minutes.
It was such a blur, but what I do remember is they were very professional. They had one of the big aid units, and they immediately, I think, hooked an IV up to her, got her in the back. I rode back there with Lily on the way back to the hospital. They were bandaging her and sort of taking care of her and making her feel better. Remember that?
So as this is going on, I look up at this little girl and I asked her, I said, "Sweetheart, what's your name?" And she's laying there very good, and she said, "Lily." This probably doesn't mean a whole lot to many people, but my 1-year-old at the time, my youngest, is named Lily. So then not only am I seeing the injuries to this young girl, but I'm imagining my family, of course, and my little daughter, and seeing this beautiful little girl, Lily, laying there with these injuries that to me, I was very afraid that she was going to spend the rest of her life with amputations and prosthetics.
Rapid response, doctors on the scene, and a world-class surgeon waiting in the OR. All the elements needed for a miracle.
So you had everything work in synchrony, just absolute synchrony. And what you get out of it is a dancing little blonde who can ride a horse, ski. I mean, there's not much she can't do. And you take that little personality and a pair of invincible parents who just simply say, we're not going to let this get in the way, and you have an enormous success.
I don't think I could have gone through what she went through. She's the bravest little thing I think I've ever known in my life.
There's my favorite patient. She's an amazing little girl. She was at significant risk of losing both of her feet, and certainly one of them, the right foot, was essentially completely off. And it's very uncommon that we're able to successfully put feet back on, but a combination of factors, the fact that they were able to get her here so quickly, that she was young and otherwise healthy, and that we were able to find the vessels and the parts that we needed to hook back up, that it worked out in the end.
And Lily can have the life she was meant to live.
Dr. Vetter and Dr. Copass are really nice. They're like my heroes. I wouldn't be like this right now if they weren't there.
If we didn't have this level 1 trauma center here at Harborview, you know, and the great doctors and the paramedics and everything up here, you wouldn't be looking at a little girl playing tennis right now. I feel such an amazing debt, that kind of a contribution. You know, they do it every day. I mean, every day they're helping somebody, taking care of, you know, someone from a tragic, horrible accident that we mere mortals, you know, we can't help. But because of their training and because of how good they are at their job, they're just doing that constantly.
It's good.
Extraordinary circumstances, extraordinary people. Thanks to Medic One and the Medic One Foundation, miracles happen every day. When you have 6 minutes to live or die, training, research, and medical oversight count. Your gift saves lives.